Good morning students and welcome to our YouTube channel Gnan Mindri Modern School. So in the previous videos we are just going through the chapter number 7, that is climate and adaptation. In that we have seen about the climate. I have also showed you in the phone how the climate is changing day by day and also hour by hour. And now we have reached to the adaptation. So first of all, what is adaptation that we have seen in the previous video. So first of all, I am just telling about the adaptation, telling the definition of adaptation, that is here. What is adaptation? An adaptation can be defined as a structure or behavioral change in an animal that helps it to survive in its environment. So this is adaptation. How the animals are adapted to some of the situations and how they can just control that. So let us see. In the previous video we have seen that animals adapt to their environments in many ways. They undergo physical change such as in the shape and the size of their body. They undergo in the way their body functions, and they develop change in their behavior. Means as the weather or condition or due to some of the adaptation, they will also change in the physical and also some of the behavioral change in it. And in that we have seen about the migration. What is migration? First of all, migration, when if I say that in cooler regions, how some of the birds cannot live in the hotter when the season is changed. If I take an example, so here if I just explain you in the board, here this is an earth. If I say that this is an earth like an oval shape. Okay students, so some of here there are, it is in the, you have to imagine this in the 3D shape. Okay, then this is like this. Then here you can see, if I say that here is an India and here are some of the Canadian countries, here are South Africa, some of the Saudi, and here is the Pakistan, above the Russia, here is China, Japan, Sri Lanka, and here is Nepal also, Tibet also. So these are some of the things. What happens? We know that in this region, means if I talk about this region, in that what happens? If here is the summer starts and some of the birds just can live in the winter season. So what they will, if here it is winter, then here it will be summer, and here it will be summer, then here it will be winter. So they will migrate from one place to another place where there is winter. Okay students, there is where there is winter. So this is the migration from one place to the another place, that is known as the migration. In this way they will migrate according to the weather conditions and their adaptations. They will migrate from one place to the another place, and moving further, that is hot and dry climate. Here hot and dry climate, in that we know that here hot and dry climate. So in that if I take the example of deserts, and also in some of the desert area, we know that there is very hot and dry climate. What is hot? Means there is too much temperature over there, and dry climate means there is no humidity in the air. So that is dry climate. Okay students, in that what happens? In this, some of the animals only can live, which we have seen the one animal which can live in desert, that is we all know camel, which is sheep of desert, which is known as sheep of desert. So that is first only, let us read that first of all by one point. Here deserts are hot and dry places where water is scarce. Means in desert area in hot and dry climate there is no water, it is very less water, or it rains very less, and also sometimes it doesn't rain in monsoon season. So thus animals found here have adapt specially suited to conserving water. Means the animals can drink more water and store water in their body, that they have adapted. Okay, then they obtained most of their water from the plants and animals they eat. Means the plants and animals which they eat, from that only they just take the water and store in their body. Next, that is, let us study the adaptation of some animals found in deserts. First is camel. So talking about the camel, here the first one is camel. So first of all, we all know that the camel is known as the sheep of desert. Okay, camel is known as the sheep of desert. Okay, students, and we have seen only we have just gone in the desert safari and in any other place. In that, if there is a dry region, then we can see camel over there. Here, the first point is, a camel is able to survive without food or water for several days. Means camel can survive without food and water for several days. Means several days we can't live. We can't live without water for 1 or 2 hours also, if we are just having habit about that. So this makes it is well suited to survive in desert. Since food and water is scarce in desert, the arm of camel stores fats and its blood stores water. A camel can stay without water for a week or more and without food for several months. Here, the camel can live without water for several weeks and without food for several months. Means if camel not get the water, then it can just survive it for 2-3 weeks. Okay, and also if it does not get food, then it can also survive for several month if she just get the it just get the water. Then okay, here a camel has a broad feet that allow it to walk easily on sand. Means we know that in the desert area, the sand, if you just put a leg over there, then it will just go inside the sand. So the camel have a broad feet, and so that it can walk properly on the deserts. Then coming, wind blows sand in the earth, causing frequently sandstorm. Camel have a long eyelash, ear hairs and nostrils that protect them from the sand. Means there are some of the adapted, means in the eyelash are big, in the nose and also in the ears they have that type of thing which can help in survive from the sand. And another one, they have also thick eyebrow that protects their eyes from the bright sun of the desert. They have thick eye. So why they can? We know that in the hot and dry climate there is more sun. The temperature is high, so we get more sun in our eyes. So they have their eyes are adapted like that. Then they will not get the more sun on the it. Camel often feed on a prickly plant such as cactus. They have thick leaves which protect them against the prickles of these plants while eating. Unlike most mammals, camels sweat very little when it becomes very hot in the dry desert. This helps to conserve water and reduce water loss from its body. The camel sweat very less. So if it sweat very less, then what happens? The water loss from our body is from the sweat. So if the sweat is not more, then the water will store in the body more and the water loss will not happen from our body. Okay, next point, unlike other animals such as snakes and some birds are also found in the desert. This animal conserve water in their bodies by extracting waste in the form of uric acid, which is insoluble white substance with very little water. Here some of the animals also just secrete the uric acid. That is, here reading it again, the animals conserve water in their body by extracting waste in the form of uric acid. Okay, they will not extract water, they will extract uric acid. In the uric acid there is minimum amount of the water. Okay students, and other point, That is, many desert animals such as ground squirrel, kangaroo rat, burrow underground and escape the heat of the day by sleeping through the hottest part of the summer. These animals become active only in the morning and evening. Such animals are active only during night are called nocturnal animals. Here it can be asked what are it? So you have to write that the animals animals we are not talking about the camel, I am just saying that I am just rubbing this so you don't get confused. That animals that are active during only during the night are called nocturnal animals. Okay students, they are known as nocturnal animals. It can be asked that what are it, so you have to remember this. Okay, and here you can see a figure is given of ground squirrel and a kangaroo rat. Okay, then after coming to the fence fox. So what is the adaptation of fence fox? Let us see that. So fence fox, fennec fox. Okay, here fennec fox are small desert foxes that have large ears. These ears helps to get rid of body heat, thus keeping the animal cool. You can see a picture is given of fennec fox over here on the right hand side. So they have a large ears. What they do, due to that the body temperature will not rise and there they keep the animal cool. Okay, see here, fennec fox are small desert foxes that have large ears. These ears helps them to get rid of body heat, thus keeping the animal cool. Then another one, they are also nocturnal animals and they come out to hunt during night time when it is relatively cool. During the daytime these foxes live in their den. Here what happens, in the daytime they just live at their home and at night time they just came out of their home. Why in the night time? Because in the night time in the desert there is very cool and in daytime the temperature is high and in the night time the temperature is low. Okay students, now moving further to the hot tropical and temperate climates. Hot tropical and temperate climate. Let us see that. So this was hot and dry. Now we will see that is hot tropical and temperate climates. Okay students, here hot tropical and temperate climates. Okay, hot tropical and temperate climate. So what is it? Let us see that the tropical region are hot and humid with a large amount of rainfall every year. The tropical region, okay, tropical region are very hot and there is large amount of rainfall every year. Okay, then after temperate regions are relatively less warm. Thus, animals found here are adapted to regulate their body temperatures and ensure faster evaporation of water so that it does not get too sticky and uncomfortable. Evaporation of water from the body creates a cooling effect. Some animals shows excessive sweating, panting, and leaking to increase evaporation and making the body feel cooler. Just like in desert, animals found here are more active during early morning, evening, or night and remain inactive during the daytime. Avoid to hit gorillas, monkeys, jaguar, frogs, butterflies, sloths, and colorful birds such as toucans and marcons are commonly found here. Animals found here usually have a long leg and tail. Many animals such as elephants, foxes and hares have very large ears which they keep flapping constantly. Flapping our ears cools the blood which in turns cool the body. These ears work like fan. Here we know that in this what happens, the long ear animals are there. The animals which are there, they have a long ear, big ear. So they just flap. So due to flapping, the blood temperature will be less. So the blood will be cool and our body will be also cool. Okay. Now moving further, some animals like leaf insects and stick insect have a certain shape or color that matches well with their surrounding and thus makes them hard to spot. Here we have just seen about the chameleon that it changes what? It changes its color. Okay, it changes its color so that the hunters are which we can they cannot spot it. So if it will not spot, then no one will eat it. Okay, students. So they will change the color to just hide from the other animals. Here moving further, so this phenomena by which animal matches its surrounding is called camouflage. Camouflage. Okay, so what happens, they have a certain shape or color that matches well with their surrounding and thus makes them hard to spot. Here stick animals and have a certain leaf insects. Okay, they have this phenomena is known as camouflage. Since there are large number of animals found in this region, there is a lot of competition for food. Many animals adapt themselves to eat food which is eaten by no other animals. In order to avoid competition, most monkeys live on trees which keeps them safe from being hunted and eaten by other animals. So monkeys, we know that monkeys live on the trees. Why they live on the trees? Because other animals do not hunt it. So they live on the tree. So the animals, most of the animals cannot climb the tree to hunt the monkeys. Okay, students. Now moving further, and I hope here it is our new topic, that is extremely cold climates. Extremely cold climate. Let us see that. So here extremely cold climates extremely cold climate extremely cold climate. So here that is very cold. We have just seen if there is any extremely cold climate, what happens? We can see the animals which have more the I can give the example sheep. Sheep have more hairs on their body. Why? Because it can protect from the cold, and also we just tear that all the yarns and just form a sweater. Okay, let us read the topic here. Extremely cold climates. Animals that live in cold areas usually need to keep themselves warm. Most of the animals have a fat deposit inside their body or thick coat of fur to keep their bodies warm. The fur means the hairy-like structure, that is fur, which we see in the sheep. So that keeps them cool, their body cool. Some large mammals such as polar bears keep their body warm by having a thick coat of waterproof fur. So they also have a thick fur, waterproof fur. They also perform excessive muscular activity to keep their body warm. They also do some of the activities so that their body keep warm. Okay, then our next point, that is, let's see how polar bear is adapted to survive in the cold polar region. Polar bears and many other animals such as seal, whales and walruses have a thick layer of fat called bubbler under the skin. This keeps their body warm and protects them from the cold. This thick furry coat of the polar bear also helps them to keep warm. Here you can see in the polar bear, which is picture is given over here. Okay, in that you can see the fur is there which protects the its body from the cold. The white fur of the polar bear helps to camouflage so that it will can hunt well both on the land and the water. The white fur blends with the soil all around it, which makes it difficult for animals to spot a polar bear approaching. Polar bear also hibernates, remains inactive during the worst part of the winter. This allows them to survive without food or water during the cold winter season. In the very winter season, means if there is very low temperature, then what happens? They just goes to their home and they are inactive. They will just survive without food and water for the winter season. Okay, then after, polar bears have a large furry paws that acts as a snowshoes and helps them to move easily on snow without slipping. These paws also help them to swim in water when they dive for the food. Means their paws are very have grip, high grip, so that they do not slip in the ice, and also they can swim with that in the water for the hunting. Then after, other animals such as aquatic fox and aquatic hare also have a large furry paws and ears. Their furry paws act as a snowshoes and helps to move easily on the snow. The fur ears helps to keep the cold out. Arctic birds such as ptarmigan have feathers not only on their body but also on their feet. This has to keep their body warm, unlike ptarmigan that stay in the Arctic region all around the year. Some birds such as snow geese, Siberian crane and Arctic crane migrate to warmer region during the winter. They then return to the Arctic region when the summer starts settling in. So these are some of the migration birds which just migrate as the summer comes over there, and they will move the another place where there is winter. So here you can see we have just completed our chapter number 7, that is climate and adaptation. Now I'm just giving you the homework. Okay, so in your homework what you will just do is, in your homework just find out the answers. Find out the answer of let's answer which is there, and also exercise objective. Okay, you have to find out both the answer, which find out the answers of let's answer and also the objectives of the exercise, and we will discuss in the next video. Okay students, we will meet in the next video. Bye students.